President Obama is expected to go to Kenya in July. Secretary of State John Kerry made a surprise visit to Somalia in May. He is the first sitting Secretary of State ever to do so and the highest-ranking U.S. official to go there in decades. My colleague Paul Sisco has more.
The unannounced three-hour visit to Mogadishu by U.S. Secretary of State John Kerry signals a readiness to re-engage a country that has been a haven for militants. Kerry met with Somali President Hassan Sheikh Mohamud and his Prime Minister at the heavily defended airport in Mogadishu. He addressed the Somali population by video.
We all have a stake in your success. The world cannot afford to have places on the map that are essentially ungoverned. 3 years have passed since a new provisional constitution was adopted and a parliament sworn in. With help from AMISOM, Somali forces have pushed al-Shabaab out of major population centers.
Kerry said a determined international effort has put virtually all of Somalia's pirates out of business, and he told his Somali host the U.S. is beginning the process of establishing a diplomatic mission in Mogadishu. Kerry's delegation also made a first-ever stop in Djibouti. The U.S. conducts drone strikes against extremist commanders from the East African nation. And Kerry's delegation also held talks with Kenyan President Uhuru Kenyatta in Nairobi, offering more anti-terrorism assistance and addressing other U.S. political concerns.
America has learned in our own fight against terrorism that we have to be true to democratic values. Not just because it's right, but also because it's the only sure path to security over the long term. So I am glad that today President Kenyatta reinforced his agreement with us that human rights and the rule of law have to be respected in the counterterrorism efforts, and that security officials should partner with civil society organizations, especially with those with deep roots in the communities that are scarred by terrorism.
Al-Shabaab militants have staged several deadly attacks in Kenya and elsewhere in East Africa. On April 2nd, 148 people were killed in the attack at Garissa University College. Secretary Kerry also spoke in Nairobi on other political conflicts in South Sudan.
Because of violence, because of more than 2 million people who've been displaced from their homes, with each day, the ranks of the hungry and the malnourished grow, and none of this had to happen. But it did happen because the country's leaders failed to act on behalf of the best interests of their people and their nation.
And he commented on Burundi President Pierre Nkurunziza's desire to seek a new 5-year term.
We are deeply concerned about President Nkurunziza's decision, which flies directly in the face of the Constitution of his country. And the violence that is expressing the concern of his own citizens about that choice should be listened to.
Representing President Obama, Secretary of State Kerry also attended the historic inauguration of Nigerian President Muhammadu Buhari, assuring him the United States fully supports its efforts against the Boko Haram insurgency and its economic challenges. Paul Sisco, VOA News.